Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of Loud, a pop culture podcast. This is for February 5th, 2022. I am your host, Tomye West, and joining me as always is my co-host, Alannis Maximus.
Greetings.
How you been, bud?
Yeah, not bad. Had a big day of doing nothing, which is good.
Yeah, big day doing nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's better than doing something that's hectic, eh?
That's it.
You've been playing some game about space rocks, yeah?
That's right. Elite Dangerous. So spaceship simulator, I guess if you can call it that. The grind is real.
Sounds it. Before we get going and get started, I kind of wanted to thank everyone for the awesome response we've had on our Jackass Forever review, wrapping up our ranked and reviewed series. It's performing really well. We've had a lot of subscribers from it. We've had a lot of feedback. And I feel like we gave a really good review on it. Without giving too much away, we were able to talk about it at length and in depth without spoiling so much of the movie for you. And I feel like we understand that franchise very well, just like we understand the Scream franchise very well. And we're able to give a opinion that isn't uneducated, I guess. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm a big Jackass fan. Like, I'm one of the biggest you'll ever find. So I feel like I'm talking about something I actually really know about. Whereas if I was to talk about, like, I don't know, for instance, 3 Charlie Chaplin movies from the 50s, I'd be like, I don't get it, man.
Yeah.
I went to film school and I watched Charlie Chaplin movies, and the entire time during film school, I was like, I don't get it, man. But anyway, apart from that, before we get started, we just got to remind you, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, and jump over to our Facebook page too, please, because we need the support everywhere. The more places you are, the more you're able to keep up to date and keep fill in with what's going on with our schedule and be a part of the community a little bit more. Chime in when you like something, chime in when you don't like something, talk to other people that watch our stuff, and, you know, let's build friendships while we do this, you know? Do you agree, Alan?
Right, 100%. Get to know your hosts.
And also, remember, if you subscribe right now, you can win a 10-inch splash Soultone Cymbals custom brilliant Tomye West Escobar series splash, obviously, and that's my personalized logo and signature on them. They're my series of symbols. So yeah, we're giving away a 10-inch. Before everyone gets excited, I thought I should probably bring this up. This splash is not brand new. This splash has been used, but it has been used once. It just needs a bit of a wipe, but it is a brand new splash, and it's not a cheap splash. When, you know, this podcast is going off more, we're going to be doing a lot more giveaways and things, and I'm more than happy to start giving away brand new ones too when it gets to higher subscription things. We're also going to be giving away things like unopened Pokemon booster packs and certain things. We're always going to have different prizes going from now on to reach different milestones. So yeah, make sure you keep an eye out for those, or, you know, if you haven't subscribed yet and you want to be one of the lucky subscribers to win this symbol, make sure you subscribe now. So today we got a lot of stories for you. Today we're going over some cool ones, which is Grand Theft Auto 6 finally confirmed by Rockstar Games. This is by no means a big story, because while it is a confirmation, there isn't much else that they've said apart from, yeah, we're working on it. But this is the first time Rockstar Games are talking about it, so we should bring it up, and we'll discuss that a little bit more. We're also going to be discussing Grand Theft Auto 5's release date for next-gen consoles, which is just been announced. We're going to be talking about PlayStation hitting back, making that move that I told Alan was going to happen now that Xbox have bought Activision Blizzard. What did I say is going to happen, Alan? PlayStation have no chance to respond, except in the way that Xbox have begun, which is, let's buy up everything. And now, before we get into talking about that, I'm very aware that this deal has probably been going on a lot longer, and it has taken a lot longer for them to get together, and this isn't an answer back, but it is timed very well. I'd say, the announcement to kind of kick back a little bit. We're also going to be talking about some more Rockstar Games news, which is the potential of some Red Dead Redemption 2 DLC and what we want from it, what we think it will be, and yeah, basically that's it, because I know what I want, I know what Alan wants, but I know what I think I know what we're going to be getting. So that's what we're going to be discussing. We're also going to be reacting to the Disenchantment trailer for Part 4, which is dropping this Wednesday on Netflix. I'm guessing that'll be Thursday for us because Netflix are jokers. And then we're talking 2 more items. Scream 6 being confirmed, greenlit, whatever you want to call it. And also we're going to be finishing off with our reaction to the brand new Texas Chainsaw Massacre trailer. So let's get straight into it with story number 1, and that is Grand Theft Auto 6 has been confirmed. Now, this is a big deal because so far, up until now, we have not had a confirmation from Rockstar Games themselves. We have had many sites, talking about this. We've had, and by the way, I'm running Grand Theft Auto 5 footage at the moment because clearly we've got no Grand Theft Auto 6 footage yet. But I'm running some Grand Theft Auto 5 footage while we talk about this. So Grand Theft Auto 6 has been officially announced by Rockstar Games, and for them to even say, yes, we are working on something, that's pretty big news now because they've kept very quiet. And honestly, I did not expect them to kind of start talking about this at all yet. I was very sure that we were not going to get a Grand Theft Auto game until 25, 26, somewhere around there. What are your thoughts on this anyway, Alan?
I'm excited for it. I've seen a couple of kind of fan requests that they want to make it a more serious tone like Red Dead, but I think don't fix what isn't broken. Red Dead and GTA are 2 different things, so keep on doing what they're doing, and
well,
I'm overall
there's
excited.
a little sort of a disagreement I have with you there, and that's that Grand Theft Auto has had a really serious mainline entry, and that is Grand Theft Auto 4. While Grand Theft Auto 4 was very funny and very jokey and still sort of made fun of the American way and the culture and the blah, 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 and had all this sort of, what do you call that, sort of humor? It's called...
Black humor.
No, it starts with S.
Satire.
Satire. When it's got that satire in it, GTA is always going to have that. But when you look at the actual story itself and the characters and GTA 4 was about as grounded and as serious as it got ever. And I don't know, man. I personally like Grand Theft Auto 4 more than GTA 5. It's probably my favorite Grand Theft Auto in the series. So I want something a little bit more in-depth, deep, things like that. And yeah, I'm just hoping that we're going to get a game that everyone wants and has been waiting for, because
yes,
everyone wanted Grand Theft Auto 5 and couldn't believe how good it was, and now it's overstayed its welcome, and now we are getting it for the 3rd fucking time on a different console. And I refuse to pay for that, by the way. I will not be buying Grand Theft Auto 5 again. So, let's just hope that Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out and everyone is blown away by it, just like they were with Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2. And we're not getting a Grand Theft Auto 6 that feels like something's missing, considering one of the lead studio, one of the Hauser brothers, and he is also the guy who writes the stories, the scripts, the dialogue, blah, blah, blah. He's gone, and I just wonder how they're going to manage without him. I'm sure there was a lot of work done with him before he left, because I'm sure they've been working on this for many years, but I'd like to see how this is going to stack up, because it would be a shame if a Grand Theft Auto game comes out and it's a 7.
Yeah.
I think Grand Theft Auto has the sort of it needs to keep up with scoring 10s, 9s, 10s, 10s across the board. I mean, like, I think every game's come out, it's getting given a 10, and then they readjust it for later, and when it kind of gets a bit older. I think GTA 4 was 10 and it was a 9 now. GTA 5 is still a 10, I'm pretty sure. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a 10. So, like, as long as it still has that Rockstar polish. And look, we can't blame Rockstar Games completely for the way that the relaunch of the trilogy came out, because that was made by Grove Street Games, which is a company that has worked with Rockstar on many different ports, including the iPad ports, the iPhone ports, Chinatown Wars ports, all those sorts of things. They've done many years of work, and it seems like Rockstar Games like these dudes. So, I mean, I'm not going to take too much worriness from how the trilogy was released, but I do believe Rockstar, the reason that they weren't involved with the trilogy is because they're busy working on this. Is that what you're thinking?
That's what I'm thinking as well. I think they've kind of outsourced the trilogy while focusing on other things like this. I think you're absolutely on the money there.
Yeah, and I don't think that they honestly looked at the problems with the trilogy because they were too busy. They were just like, look, we trust you, kind of thing. You know what I mean? We're busy. And they might have even had it played a rough build of it, maybe, but on a PC, and it ran smooth, and they thought, okay, this is fine. But I feel like if Rockstar were the ones working on it and releasing that trilogy, the problems we have with that trilogy wouldn't have they would have never existed. So let's just hope that that's the case, and we're not going to get a GTA 6 that is buggy as shit, has a crap story, a location that nobody cares about, and it has all this hype built up for the last 10 goddamn years to come out with a dud, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
But I am looking forward to it. Look, I've been the biggest person saying, you know what, Rockstar Games, keep your Grand Theft Auto. I'm so over you guys just milking people for money and online purchases and, like, you know, loot box shit, basically. And it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. You know what I mean? So, look, now that it's announced, I'm excited. But in all honesty, if Rockstar Games never released another Grand Theft Auto, I don't think I'd be too upset, just because I feel like Rockstar Games had become one of those corporate greedy companies like EA had the sort of. EA isn't that way as much anymore, but it did have that stigma attached to it. Consumer, you know? Anyway, sticking with Grand Theft Auto news, so we don't have to change this video that's playing, as it's the same shit. Grand Theft Auto 5, the next-gen release date, has been officially announced. This was announced alongside the announcement of them working on GTA 6. Actually, I said that the wrong way. The article came out about the new release of GTA 5 coming out, and then they added on the information about GTA 6 being in the works while talking about this. So technically, they announced this and talked about Grand Theft Auto 6, but I put Grand Theft Auto 6 ahead because that's bigger than news than this game getting released for the 700th time on the Xbox and the PlayStation 750. You know, like, it's just unbelievable, man. Like, if any of you guys that watch this show have played Grand Theft Auto on the Xbox 360, PS3, and then moved it to the Xbox One, PS4, and plan on moving it to the PS5 and that, and you're going to give him more money, I hate to tell you this, but you might have to stop watching our show. I'm just joking. You do what you want with your money, but I just want you to think about it a little bit before you become the next guy that's going to get suckered in by these video game companies out of all your money just because that's all they care about, the bottom dollar. So how do you feel about this coming out with a new release? And are you going to check it out or anything, or are you just done?
I'm done. I actually waited a while with this and played it for the re-release for the last gen, actually on the X series though. So I mean, I played it. It had some go faster stripes. I don't think playing it again anytime soon on an optimized version for Xbox One is going to give me. So Xbox X Series is going to give me anything more. And I'm with you as well. it's cash grabby, and a
It
lot of other
feels
games
gross.
just optimized to the next generation.
It just feels
Like,
gross. Do you
yeah,
agree with that? Like that this feels gross from Rockstar Games? Because I held Rockstar Games in such a high regard for so long. Like I was like, I look at them as like the Naughty Dog, Rockstar Games, like, who else makes killer like people that make like the Elder Scrolls. Like I look at them
yeah,
as like that on that level of big, like Bethesda, bigger than Bethesda. You know what I mean? But as soon as they started like, oh, we're going to release it again and again and again and again and again, and I was just like, this is not the Rockstar I've grown up knowing. This is not the Rockstar games that I love. This is dirty cash grab. We can't be bothered making a new title in the game, and we're making plenty of money from this current game still. So why the
yeah.
fuck would we bother? That's the vibes I'm getting from this, and I don't like it.
It doesn't make it makes perfect sense to me in the sense of cash grab, but I just can't see it doing that well either when you factor in basically everyone else, at least on Xbox. If you have an Xbox One game, that optimizes to the X series for free. You have the smart download. Rockstar, you're buying a new version optimized to the console. I think a lot of people aren't going to be bothered with this unless haven't played it yet. I just can't see it being.
Do you pay much attention to MPD numbers?
Not really. No.
I have a feeling that you may be a little wrong here, man, because Grand Theft Auto 5 is still in the top 10 games, and it has not left the top 10 purchases since release.
And I'll say this nicely, but just tongue in cheek. For the way I see it, there is, and once again, not having a go. If you dig this, you dig that. But fools and their money can be easily parted because I don't think you're going to be getting that much out of it. Like, there's nothing really, no new content. It's just going to look better and run
No,
better.
and that's what pisses me off, yeah, is when they first announced this re-release, they said upgraded and expanded. Now, to me, expanded means more game, more story missions, more maybe areas, more vehicles, more everything, but in the story mode. Like expanded does not mean better graphics.
Yeah.
That falls under the upgraded category. So with the expanded part of this, what are they trying to sell us on? Because there's nothing expanded in this whole fucking game. Not that I'm aware of anyway, unless they're trying to keep something secret from us. And guess what? I very much doubt that is the case, considering that the release date is March 15th. We are we're just over 4 weeks away from this game coming out, and we have not heard a wink about anything being expanded. We've gotten the expansions like the Franklin content, the blah 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 da 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 da, but that isn't what I took from the trailer when this was first announced for its fourth or third fucking re-release. And what I find hilarious about this is that they have to keep delaying a game that they've made 4 times to release it again. Like, what are you doing? You made the game. It's there. And you're telling me you have to... Fuck it. We're moving on to the next story because my blood's boiling. So, we're sticking with Rockstar Games here. This is some news we've heard about possibly getting some Red Dead Redemption 2 online... not online, DLC. Now, the reason we wanted to sort of talk about this is because we personally want single player in the story, in the campaign missions. We want something extended in the campaign. We want Undead Nightmare 2.
Yes.
Which was a great expansion. And I know that's what you want, Alan.
Absolutely.
We do not want, and let me say this again, we do not want more online content. We got the Franklin content. That would have been so good had it just been story-driven content. And you're playing as Franklin and you had to go get the phone back for Dr. Dre or whatever and blah, 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 you know? But they had to put it into their GTA Online bullshit. And as much as I'm praying that this is what we're going to get, you know, some awesome Red Dead downloadable content that's on the actual game itself and not online, because, like, dude, if it's online, count me out. And Rockstar Games, you need to go back to doing proper story content. Like, am I the only one that's crazy here that thinks you guys used to do episodes of Liberty City? You guys used to do Undead Nightmare. You guys used to do all these awesome things. Like GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas were all on the same console. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't get why they can't do the same thing. We even got Liberty City Stories and Vice City Stories on the PSP, which were also then put onto the PS2. I just don't get this whole new online, like, thinking that we're just gonna be happy with that, man. Like,
yeah, it's that slow death of the single player experience. It's just been happening for the last 5 or 10 years, and it's upsetting.
It is upsetting. It is upsetting. And look, being a big GTA fan, a big Rockstar Games fan, and look, Red Dead Redemption 2 was awesome. Like, one of the best games I've played in the last 5 years. I just want that level of care, time, and level of ambition behind their single-player DLC stuff that they release, as much as they used to put in, or as much as they put into the actual title themselves. And that's all I want. Like, if you're going to release something subpar, don't release it. Just leave it. Mm-hmm. But look, what we can do is go over the rough rumors for you with this Red Dead Redemption 2. All we know so far is that it looks like it's Mexican. So it looks like we're going to get the Mexico portion of the map back that was in Red Dead Redemption 1. Now, if any of you have played Red Dead Redemption 2 and aren't sure, you have the whole new map on Red Dead Redemption 2 that does join on to the original map, the entire map of Red Dead Redemption 1, except for Mexico. And now the Red Dead Redemption logo we saw with the rumors going around is colored Mexican flag colors. So to me, that means we're going over the border and we're going to be able to access Mexico now as well. But again, is this going to be story content or online content? Because that's the big question for me.
It'll be interesting to see where they put it with story content, where if they do Undead Nightmare 2, they could do it like it was kind of parallel. It wasn't in the same story kind of thing. It was just a separate story about Marston. But if it is, I'd like to see what they do if it isn't that, and it is a solo player thing, where it'll sit. Like, if we're going to be playing as John Marston in between 1 and 2 again, or if it's going to be something else, if we're filling another role. I'm curious as to see where they'll go with it.
I'm really hoping we maybe get some more Arthur Morgan or something, because I feel like John Marsden's story is
done.
It's been covered. We got him complete story on Red Dead Redemption, and then in Red Dead Redemption 2, the last fucking 3 hours of that game
was him again.
The moments just before Red Dead Redemption. So I just don't feel like we need more John Marsden. It'd be nice if we got the before with Arthur Morgan.
That would be cool.
Or a complete different character that is Mexican that has to come from the Mexico side over to the American border and swap back and forth. That'd be kind of cool too. But I guess we just have to wait and see if any these rumors hold weight behind them, because, you know, Rockstar Games, they don't want you to hear anything until they want you to hear something. And you usually won't hear something unless they are ready to tell you. And anything you do hear that isn't from Rockstar Games about something of theirs that hasn't been announced, you have to take with a grain of salt. And that's what we are doing with this Red Dead Redemption 2 rumors. With Grand Theft Auto 6 and GTA 5's release date and GTA 6 being confirmed, that's from Rockstar Games themselves, which is why it's credible, real, and not a rumor. This is just speculation and just hearsay. So for now, we might not even get Red Dead Redemption 2 content. Let's just put it out there. But we're just reporting what we've read over the week and what we thought we should bring up because we think it's an interesting topic to work out if this is going to be downloadable content for a story or if this is just more online bullshit. So now that we've discussed that one, we're moving on to story number 4, which is PlayStation hits back. Another acquisition has been made. Now, as I said at the starting of this show, the run-up to this show, this isn't technically a hit back to Xbox from Sony doing this, but I do believe that this acquisition has gone down for a while and they weren't going to announce anything. And I do think that announcement from Microsoft may have sped up the announcement a little bit from PlayStation to kind of make it feel like they're hitting back. But let's not kid ourselves. This isn't a hit back. This is not them going, okay, you got us, well, we're going to get you. That's still going to come, and I fucking guarantee that's going to happen. They're working on something right now for having Activision Blizzard taken away from them, and I can guarantee you that. But this isn't their answer to that. This is just happened to be announced the week after, and that's kind of what it feels like. So in case you weren't aware, PlayStation has bought Bungie, who originally were the creators of Halo for Xbox, who now make Destiny. Now, Alan, I'm not sure if you know, do you know why PlayStation bought Bungie?
I don't know. Especially, apparently Bungie have come forward and said, we're not going to really be doing exclusives, which is similar to what Activision said.
Okay, the difference is, Bungie have said, all our stuff like currently is going to stay multi-platform. Anything Bungie makes outside of Destiny, I wouldn't say is coming to Xbox. I'd say if they make a Destiny 3, you can pretty much have that in the bag that it'll be multi-platform. But any new IPs from Bungie coming up it's probably going to be up to them to choose, but I'm going to say they're going to majority keep PlayStation, yeah? And I also know that for a fact that they're not buying this company for their IP or the games that they currently make. They are buying them because they have talent there that helps them with online service games really well, and they know the business really well, and PlayStation are looking for a company to help them with their online service games coming up until 2026. So that was the main reason they were purchased, was to help with online free-to-play games or whatever you want to call them, and sort of help build the community more and help make things work a little smoother and help bring those into other games. So they were bought for their creativeness and their knowledge on online sort of, pay to win games. Not pay to win, but you know what I mean? Like Yeah. So that is why they have purchased them, and they actually purchased them for, I think it was 4.6 billion or something like that, which shatters the 700 million. I think was that right? 700 million Activision was paid for. Yeah. So that shatters that, man. And that's pretty insane to pay for something 3.6 billion or whatever they paid for it got people that just make one game at the moment, but that's why you can see that it wasn't just because of the IP or what they make. It was to do with what they know and how they can help make games of service work for PlayStation better. So you got anything more to say about that? Like, are you thinking, like, what's next? Who's making the next move in this chess game, or have you got any thoughts on maybe what will happen with all these acquisitions, or have you thought that maybe this will stop? Or give us.
It's both Activision and Bungie have kind of been like blindsides for me. So I think there's still more bubbling under the surface. So it's going to be interesting what the next measure is here.
Well, I know for a fact that the American government has to step in, right? When too many acquisitions of big companies are made by one company too quickly to each other, because of the monopolization, because of tax things, because of swallowing the market and things like that. So I wonder how many more steps it's going to take for Xbox to cross that line before the government steps in and goes, listen, you have done too many acquisitions too close to each other, too big a company. You have to stop, because there are laws against swallowing up as many big acquisitions like that in such a small amount of time. And I'm not sure exactly what those laws are, but I feel like Xbox are almost stepping over that line. And I feel like if they do one more, the government may get involved. But that's pretty much it for that story. There's not much more. Just that they bought Bungie, and you guys don't have to worry if you're on Xbox or you're on PC. You want to play Destiny, still going to be there. So I guess we'll talk more about that when we know more. But
yes.
By the way, today's not going to be a very long episode because I have some health issues going on, and we've had a very busy week. So we're trying to kind of go through these stories with some depth and give our opinions, but also not drag it on long. So we're going to move on to the next story, which is we're going to react to the trailer for part 4 of Disenchantment, which is actually releasing this week, which I wasn't aware of until 2 days ago when I actually clicked Disenchantment on Netflix and it said part 4 coming Wednesday. And I was like, what? I haven't heard anything about this because I love the show. I actually just watched all 3 seasons again last month, maybe. So, we'll bring up the trailer for Disenchantment, see part 4, and we'll give our thoughts. 1 second. And here it is.
Look, boys, home sweet home.
Attention, Dreamland! It's me, your mighty queen, Bean! Are you ready to welcome us?
Oy vey.
Don't worry, there's no way they can hit us from this high up. Lots of people would like to take over this castle. Some are within these walls, the rest are out here.
The elves are up to something.
Dreamland Castle is rightfully ours.
We'll take it by force. Please gasp.
Hello, Bean.
I've been having nightmares again.
This is Castle. Something about it intensifies dreams.
You're sitting in the very center of the known world. I'm sorry, move over a couple of inches. There you go. Dagmar's back.
Every twist and turn in your ridiculous life, that was all me. The debt to hell is about to be repaid. Let the wedding begin.
I didn't see that coming. Suspense, that's how they hook you. Your breakfast, Your Majesty.
Bean, wake up!
Late night bunny party!
Oh, dear!
Dreamlanders don't deserve a fate like this. No matter how annoying and stubborn and dirty they are. I've got to save my people. Who's with me?
The crickets have spoken.
You're too heavy!
No, either we all survive or none of us do. That's the deal.
That's not the deal!
We made a deal.
No, we did not!
I'm sure we did.
I signed a prenup secretly.
That says what? We break up?
I don't know, I can't read.
Shut up, Elfo.
You gotta stop focusing on revenge and anger and wrath. Instead, just focus on what matters the most, and that's
Murder.
Oi, I'm not done with that.
I'll return it, dude.
What you smiling about? It's just gonna take longer.
So, what did you think of that?
I like it. I didn't actually know there was a season 3, so it's double good news for me. So I've got 2 seasons essentially to get through now.
Yeah, well, I think that maybe we should you should rewatch it, and I should rewatch it. So when this part 4 comes out, maybe we can do like a decent review of it or something on an episode or something. You know?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Because I'm kind of worried about this show that this may be the last, just because I love it. I know a few people that do love it, but I know it's not loved by a lot of people. So I guess we'll see how it goes. And you know what Netflix are like. Anything they've got good, let's cancel it after 5 seasons. Fucking assholes. So we'll move on to our second last story for the day. That is Scream 6 has officially been greenlit. Now we were all kind of expecting that we were going to get a Scream 6, but what I did read was that Scream 6 was nowhere in anyone's mind when they were making this new movie. I thought it was meant to be a new trilogy, but people said Scream 5 was not meant to start off a new series. But obviously, the box office numbers have spoken, and Scream 6 will indeed be happening. Now, what does that mean for what happened in Scream 5? Well, it's still a new movie, so we can't really talk too much about it. If you have seen it and you want to hear us talk more about it, go check out our review. If you haven't seen it and you don't want it ruined for you, then yeah, we can't really talk too much more about it except to tell you that, yes, this is being confirmed. I'm not sure when it'll be, but I'm guessing give it 2 years. But yeah, like, what are your thoughts on this? Are you excited for this album?
Yes. I'm hoping for a trilogy at least out of the new crew, because I think where it left off was good, and I think there's definitely room for some more. It'd be interesting to see where they go with it.
I agree. All right. We're going to wrap up this show with one more story, and that is us reacting to the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre trailer for Netflix. So let's bring that up. And here it is. Boys, girls, if you're under the age of a certain age and scary things scare you, then look away or tell your parents to put your night-nights. Let's do it.
So Harlow is a ghost town.
We have a vision for this place. All it needs is young love.
I don't want to live here. This is a chance for people to start fresh somewhere. Somewhere safe. Hey guys. You should see this. What are you doing in our house? We shouldn't be here.
This is hardest.
I'm afraid you're all back.
50 years I've been waiting for this night. Just to see him again. Looks like it's you that he wants.
I'm not gonna let him kill you.
Trying to be canceled, bro.
I like that.
My only thing I didn't like is that they referred to him as Leatherface.
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
Because
But I mean, if they explain it and there's maybe a law now, because there's obviously a amount of time has passed, maybe. Yeah.
True.
I don't know. I like it, but I think the Texas movies, the second one was all right. 3 and 4 were a bit of a incline down. Like Leatherface was all right. 4th was hot trash. So I don't think it can be. If it is bad, I don't think it's got far to fall. I think it's got a lot of room to be better than what we already have.
I'm excited for it, man, just because I don't mind Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I'm looking forward to seeing like sort of a newer, updated version. Let's just hope that it isn't filled with too much references of like you're gonna get cancelled, bro, and things like that, because that'll drive me nuts too.
Yeah, I think it. And I mean, it's. I think it would be really hard to screw it up. And when you look at who's producing it, they've got some experience under their belt. I reckon it will be a good time. I'm excited. And I mean, if it goes in the same trajectory as other requels, like the Halloween thing, it will be good because that was done pretty damn well. So there's a standard set that I don't think would be that hard to not follow.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too, and I hope everyone else out there is too. So yeah, that basically does it for this week's episode of Loud. I want to thank everyone for tuning in and watching. And yeah, like again, thank you for everyone checking out our Jackass Forever review. If you haven't gone and checked it out, go check it out. If you want to see how it stacks up compared to the other movies, go check out the other reviews we did for all the other Jackass movies. And remember, we still have our Scream ranked and reviewed series up. And we are also starting a brand new ranked and reviewed series next week. And that is the Indiana Jones franchise. That starts next Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. on YouTube. And yeah, we can't wait to start doing that. We're going to be starting with Raiders of the Lost Ark, obviously. And I know Alan's looking forward to it. So, yeah, I mean, anything else to say before we kind of pack up our balls and leave, man?
No, I think it has all been put in its nutshell nicely.
All right, just give me a second. Let me pack up my balls. All right, cool. Well, again, thank you everyone for joining us on February 5th, 2022 for our episode of Loud Pop Culture Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Tomye West. My co-host, Alannis Maximus. Go subscribe to our YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe now. And also head over to our Facebook page. We have another story that we were going to bring you today about Australia's last video store, but I thought we could bring that to you next time as I'm still not feeling the best. And if I don't get off this podcast very soon, you guys might see me vomit. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. We both love you very much, and we will see you soon.